What's up, beautiful people? Today we're installing a skylight in my kitchen. I've got a tiled roof and a ceiling. Whether you have a tinned roof or a tiled roof, this process is fairly similar, so follow along and I'm going to show you how it's done. Now I've got a skylight kit here. I've got the external skylight there. I've got the internal window which goes into the ceiling, and I've got the well which joins the internal window and the external skylight together through the roof cavity. Now it's currently raining outside, and ideally I'd like to get on the roof first and install the skylight, but because it's raining, we're going to do the interior window first and then get up on the roof when the rain stops. So the first thing you want to do is work out where the internal window is going to go. Now you don't just want to mark it on the ceiling and then cut it out, because there's roof joists up there, there's electrical wires and things, all sorts of things you don't want to cut through. So what you want to do is work out around about where you want it. I'm going to poke a screwdriver through the ceiling, then I'm going to get into the roof and I'm going to work out what's in my way and where is the most ideal spot to cut this internal window in. Okay, so I'm going to poke a hole in between the light and this cornice here, and that is going to be the ideal spot for the skylight. So I reckon about there. There we go. All right, the screwdriver's in. Now we're going to get into the roof and see what we're working with. Okay, so the plot thickens. I've found my screwdriver. You can understand now why I have put the screwdriver through, because it's so hard to find when there's so much crap in the roof. Turns out that the ceiling joists are running the wrong way and the roof joists are running the right way, but they're too thin. So I'm gonna have to do a fair bit of work up here in order to get this skylight installed. Alrighty, so what I've done here is I've drawn a straight line, measuring off the cornice here from that end to that end. I've drawn a straight line there. Now I'm going to use this square to square off the straight line in order to get my perfect size for the internal window. Alrighty, time to get cutting. I'm using a reciprocating saw. I'm using a smaller blade to start the cut off, and then I'm going to change it to a longer blade. Here we go. So that's the hole done there. So whatever the window is, cut the hole about 5 mil bigger, which I've done here, and that way that'll give you a bit of leeway for slotting it into place. Just for example, you can see this is the internal lip of the skylight that is going inside, and we've got 525, and I have cut the width. What's that gonna be? 530, and you can see that the actual outer lip is 560, so we've got enough coverage over the cut to make it all look nice and pretty. And just another note, always use a metal cutting blade on your reciprocating saw, even though you wouldn't think there'd be much metal in here, but there is. There's some new rafters, whoever installed the new ceiling, and they are metal, so it's always best to go with a metal blade in case you run into things like metal rafters. All right, so I have built some framing here for the internal skylight to fit into. I mean, the main point of this is just so we've got something to attach it to. So there's a wooden frame here we can actually drill into and attach it to. Pretty straightforward. You just want to make the frame the same size as the hole, so 5 mil bigger than the Skylight, and then just attach it however what means sort of works for you. I've just put in like a couple of packers there and a piece of wood, and I've attached it to the rafters on either side, and plus some packers and a bugle there as well. I took out one of the roof joists here going across, so this one here is already supported by this one, and I put in an extra bugle there just to make sure that one's safe. And on this side here, I put in this extra joist here going across to support this one here. And we are ready to put in the Skylight. All right, so the frame is ready to go in. I've just drilled some holes here, here, and all around, and that's going to drill into the wood up the top there. So now it's just a fact of putting it up there and putting some screws in, and she will stay up there. Alright, so I've done a fair bit of work up here just to take out this beam in order to make the hole big enough for the Skylight. And in order to take out that beam to support this one right here, I've added this beam in here, and I've ran another beam right here, and that's so we can join the Skylight to it. It's the perfect width now for the Skylight, and this beam here is supporting the battens along here as well. This one is existing, so that's great. So I've just ran this beam off that, and then basically everything has been joined together with 150 mil bugles, holes going through like that, and basically wherever the new wood is meeting the old or the new, we've got bugles going through like so. So now this is structurally sound, and we can start taking off the roof tiles. And to start taking off the roof tiles, you want to actually clip the wires from inside the roof. So you'll see it's a pain in the ass taking these things off without clipping the wires, but you can actually see them there. And we just want to start clipping the wires that are holding the roof tiles down in the area of which we are going to take out to fit in this Skylight. Also guys, any work like this on the inside of the roof is much easier to do from the outside. So ideally you'd want to remove the roof tiles and then run these battens and joists from outside once you've removed the roof tiles. I'm only doing it from the inside because it's raining outside and I want to stay dry and I don't want to flood my house. So I'm getting what I can done while it's raining. Okay, so to remove the roof tiles, you want to lift the above roof tiles up, and then you'll be able to take out the below roof tiles. So if these tiles were already in, and I was just removing this one, I would lift it and I would slide it out sideways, sort of wiggle it out sideways. And once you got one out, the rest are a lot easier to get out. Okay, so we're just going to remove 2 of the battens here. Alrighty, roof tiles removed and the Skylight is ready to go in. Alrighty, now from the inside of the roof, before we start cutting the roof tiles in, we want to strap this down. So by bending these parts down and screwing them to the roof joists. So all 4 need to be screwed down, and then we can start cutting in the roof tiles. Alrighty, there we go. 4 screws put in, and now we can cut the roof tiles. Easy measurement for the tiles. Put your tape up against the skylight right there, and that'll give you the measurement of how wide you need to cut the tiles. So you need to cut 1, 2, 3 on this side and 3 on the other side, and we're watertight. So I've marked my 3 tiles. I only need to cut 3, which is fantastic. I'm going to cut these with a diamond blade on a 5-inch angle grinder. Doesn't matter what you use as long as it has a diamond blade, whether it's a table saw, circular saw, or a 9-inch grinder. Okay, the external skylight is done. All I'm going to do now is shape this flashing, this lead flashing, with this rubber hammer. You can use a metal hammer, just be real careful that you don't break any roof tiles. Alright, she's all done, and I'm a happy man. Alright, the lucky last job is to install the well from the skylight to the internal window. Just going to stick it on with some silver ducting tape. The tape matches the color of the well, which is more or less ducting. Alright, there she is, all finished from inside the roof cavity. The well's been sticky taped on. I sticky taped the bottom on from this side, just onto the inside lip of the interior window, and the top of the skylight. The well has been sticky taped from inside the skylight. Yeah, just basically like that. Alright, and there she is from the inside. Looking pretty good. Alrighty, done and dusted.